Inside the way this team has regrouped over the last 30-ish hours?
I think under times like this where there's change and things like that, we can only look at the guy next to us and look at one another and come together as a group, especially the guys that are gonna be out there on the court. The NBA is a business and things like this happen, and it's unfortunate, obviously, because of the relationship that I built with Malone, and we all built with Malone. But there's still basketball left to be played, and we got to go in and handle business.
David Adelman talked about there still being a very real belief in this group that you guys can do something special. How did you start that tonight?
Yeah, no, my belief never left. I always thought that we were gonna, be one of those teams where we get in the playoffs and we were gonna be able to shake it up with anybody. So I was never really worried about that, but I'm glad that there's, kind of a new revitalized energy, and that we all came together, and that we're making the most of this last 3-game stretch, and then into the playoffs just with a new mindset. And just the mindset to win.
A new career high for Jalen Pickett tonight. How have you seen him grow from last year to this year?
I've seen him just, handle the ups and downs so well. He's been very poised through it all. He knew that his time would come and he would get his opportunity to shine, and that's what we're seeing now. I'm super happy for him. He puts his head down every day. He works. He doesn't complain, and he's just an overall super positive kid. So he's also older than me, so I don't know why I'm calling him kid. That's my guy, and I'm proud of him.
Have you gotten over the shock of the firing and what happened yesterday?
It's one of those things that'll linger for a little bit. When you're so used to having someone around all the time, in every meeting, at every practice, in the gym at all times, it definitely just feels like there's kind of a void there, and there's a vacant spot. But for the most part, there's a lot of familiar faces still around, and we just got to continue to just lean on one another and continue to handle this change with grace and try to be the best ball club we could be.
You said it earlier how this is a business. DeAndre was talking about a lot of the young guys had never experienced the business side of it. What was it like seeing how harsh it can be?
It was definitely, eye-opening for sure. I mean, I was already aware coming in of how much the NBA is a business, as it should be. It's one of the more lucrative things we got on this planet. But I think just seeing it up close and personal and firsthand, especially in our organization, it definitely was something that was just, it hit a little bit different. So definitely is, an example I can take and, I could share with other people, So I'm glad that we went through it, and we're going to be better because of it. Green Goblin is funny.
What was Joker like today? In the he said something post game like, the beast is most dangerous when it's vulnerable or something, and he was kind of active in the huddles and stuff. How would you describe how he's responded to the last 30 hours? What type of things happened?
I think that he knows that we lost one of our leaders in Malone, so it's definitely an important time for him to be speaking up and for us to hear his voice, because he's the focal point of our team, and we build everything around him. So I'm glad that he has been more vocal and that his energy has been up, because that's what we need from him. We need the leadership, we need the belief, we need his voice to be present in this locker room. So I'm glad that he's been doing that.
What's your relationship like with David Adelman?
DA is my guy. DA, I think we all know him as a super blunt and honest guy. He's going to call it how he sees it, but just super thoughtful, I asked him today in the huddle, me and DJ, we asked him, like, why are you writing down your plays on a notepad and not a board, as Coach Malone would do? And he was like, because I can go back and look at all the plays that I've written down, and I can see when I drew them up and what time in the game it was. So that was super thoughtful to me, and it just goes to show the type of person that DA is, and that's the type of person you want at the helm of everything. So I'm super glad that we have him, and I think we're going to be a great team in the playoffs.
Thank you, Peyton.